Hey guys, it's Paul Pluta on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, I'm doing paid reviews. This is paid reviews 20JU31. 20JU31. And today let's do a quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Patek Philippe 6006 Calatrava in white gold. Okay, let's jump straight in here. Hi Archie, I hope you're doing well, especially during these crazy times. I've donated for an express review. I'd love to know what you think. Here are my watches in the collection and the stories behind them. I'd rather you keep my last name out of the vid, of course, for my own privacy and security. I'm 21 years old, composer, arranger and music producer from the United States with a strong, huge affinity for both vintage and modern Rolex. Every watch in my collection gets constant wear and I love them all. Good to hear, good to hear. I realize how times are tough for so many people, and I want both you and the viewers to know this. I am exceptionally fortunate, not only that I'm able to afford all these wonderful and objectively expensive watches, but I'm also fortunate to make money doing what I love, even in this unprecedented time of crisis. Okay, let's have a look here. Rolex Gmt Master 2 116710 with a black bezel. This was my first luxury watch which I could afford. It was $6,800 in 2017. No box, no papers. My co-writer business partner's father owned a gold GMT, and it was the first modern Rolex I had the chance to interact with. From that point on, I was in love with the GMT, especially considering how often I travel. I bought it at 19 and haven't looked back since. Number 2, Rolex. So that's the double one. That's the ceramic black. Black, absolutely magic choice. Then he's got a Rolex Submariner 16800. This is a transitional. I found a used vintage dealer in Boston where I live, and they had listed a 16800 for $7,000, a good price for early 2018. Being a traditional reference, first sub to have sapphire, gloss dial, and white gold markers. Okay, that's not quite as desirable as the non-white gold 1680 type dial, but still, beggars can't be choosers. I was drawn to the watch and the potential importance it might have in the watch community in the future. No box or papers. I don't think box or papers is a killer. It's always good to have, but I don't think it's a stinker. Next piece, number 3, Rolex Submariner 116610LN. Not more than a week after the 1680 from the Boston dealer, they listed a modern black stub in the store. And I was able to get the price down to, $7,500. The price was great for 2018, but even better today considering the market. I agree, very good buying. Then he got a Rolex Day-Date linen dial 1803. I had owned one Day-Date in the past. I bought it in New York the day I attended the 2018 Grammy Awards as a audience member. It had a stretch bracelet and wasn't the example I was looking for. I was able to get my hands on a beautiful 1803 white linen dial from 1975 with box and papers for $7,000, and thus began my infatuation with day-dates and gold Rolexes in general. The bracelet has minimal stretch and the older folding clasp and is in fantastic condition. Then we've got a Rolex GMT 16700 Pepsi bezel from the same Boston dealer. I was able to purchase a vintage Pepsi GMT for $8,200 in 2018. After mentioned above that my first luxury watch was a modern GMT, so it seemed like a good fit to bring in a Pepsi. I've been watching the Blacklist on NBC, where the main character, who was super compelling, wore a Pepsi, and I really love the watch. No box or papers on this one. Then he's got a Rolex Daytona 116500LN. For as long as I've been collecting watches, I've always idolized the Daytona, and it was always out of reach. When Rolex released the black ceramic Daytona in 2016, I knew I would buy one day. I had scheduled a trip to New York, where I often work with a client and a fellow watch collector for the 10th anniversary of Hodinkee. As soon as I booked my flight, I knew that I would go out and make a black ceramic Daytona purchase. By that time, I had built up a huge network in the Diamond District. Side note, I know a lot of people are hesitant about Diamond District in New York. I think a fair amount of that comes from apparent sleaziness of the sellers. There are a lot of Russians there. Yeah, well, fair enough. I've been able to take the edge off all of the transactions. I knew that I wouldn't be willing to pay a dime over 21,000. I was able to get it the day of the event with box and papers for that price exactly. This is the only watch up to that point that I had paid market rate for. In today's market, I am certainly glad I did, but at the time it was a hard pill to swallow. Just realized that I wasn't investing, I was collecting something that I really enjoyed, so pulled the trigger. Good one. And then he's got a Cartier Tank Louis XL, extra large, automatic. I bought this piece at retail in Las Vegas. Not a good move. Don't buy Cartier at retail, man. That's a dumb idea. Dumb idea. The only watch I bought in a boutique, I had taken my father on vacation, his first in over 20 years. Not only did I buy the watch because I loved it, I also bought it to commemorate the experience and to always remember who brought watches and jewelry into my life. My father. Okay. Then he's got a Rolex Datejust 1603 silver dial. The first Rolex that I ever had seen was my dad's two-tone Datejust, the first luxury watch that he could ever afford growing up poor. The watch was a symbol of success and something that he relayed down to me when the opportunity came up to buy a 1603 in steel. Fantastic condition, no papers, no box, for $2,700. I couldn't pass it up. All of the watches I have and I hope to own in the future, I stand by my view that a vintage Datejust is the ultimate everyday watch. I know that it got a lot of people into the watch. You betcha that was the #1 seller. Absolutely. Then we've got a Rolex Day-Date 118238 champagne dial, but not really dial. Same client that I took with me to the Hodinkee event had a connection at an AD in Virginia. He had been introduced and decided to take the opportunity to visit their shop when I was next in DC. When I did, they had a pre-owned 118238 that they had originally sold in 2001. The buyer had decided to sell it back to them the week that I came in. I've always loved the idea of a modern president. The heft of the bracelet is incomparable, and it was love at first sight. I was fortunate enough to have the means, so I bought it. It's the only watch that I've ever purchased without having thought it through before visiting the store, and I don't regret it one bit. It gets a lot of wear, especially during the COVID lockdown. And then finally, Rolex Gmt Master 2 Yellow Gold 116718 with a black dial. Like I said, the first modern Rolex I ever interacted with was a gold GMT. Ever since that day, I knew I would buy one. I don't know when, but I knew it would happen. Being fortunate enough to be working during quarantine, I was finally able to pull the trigger. It's the first watch I ever bought online through a dealer I've worked with before via Chrono24. New for $27,000 with box and papers. And I'm simply over the moon. It's so surreal to have this unobtainable item that I've dreamed about for so long. I bought it to dedicate the foundation of my production company 1 year ago, and it has revitalized my passion for watches. I wouldn't trade it for the world either. Thanks for the time to review my collection, Archie. It's been a good fan. I'm excited to see your videos for years. I'm excited to see your videos for years to come. I would love if you could do a shout out to my production company, Hexproof Productions, and my new blog, Cuff and Class, www.cuffandclass.com. But if not, that's fine. We can do that. Best wishes, Mike. I got to tell you, what an amazing collection. Let's go through this collection and see what pointers we can give there. So firstly, we've got the Rolex Gmt 2 116710 black bezel tick, just made obsolete. It's an absolute classic. We got the 16800 tick. That's just honest to God vintage Rolex at its best. Then we've got a ceramic 116610 LN. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The linen day date 1803. 1803s, you've got to know what you're doing because a lot of shagged ones have been made to look nice, but I think you got a goodie, so that's very good. Then a Rolex Gmt Pepsi 1670. That's the legend, man. That is the legendary watch. You can't go wrong with that. The Cartier, that's a stinker. Forget the Cartier. Cartier is a stinker of a brand. Then we've got the Rolex Datejust 1603. I love it with the silver dial. That is one of the most comfortable watches on planet Earth. Then a 118238. That's the modern day date. Yes, sirree. That is probably one of my favorite day dates. I think the 36 just pops. And finally, a solid gold GMT. Man, you have made it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Absolutely amazing collection. What would I cull? The only thing I would get rid of there is that stupid Cartier. I get rid of that. That's just a fashion watch. What would I add? Well, you got so many things you could add there. I'd possibly add a two-tone bluesy. I reckon a two-tone bluesy would be good. I would also say, if you want to do the vintage, maybe a few Omegas, like an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. You know, some Mark II. Just get a few interesting Omegas in the collection. Really good collection. Really nice. Really, really nice. I completely get it. I'd say this is like an 8.5 out of 10. It's absolutely amazing. So there you go, guys. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Don't be afraid to put some negative comments. Remember, guys, life is short. Please, guys, don't forget, sponsor me on Patreon or get a paid review done. Paid reviews help me stay full-time in the saddle. $50 US to ArchieLuxury72@gmail.com. And we'll see you in the next one. Fantastic collection. Love it to death. What would I say there? What would I add? What would I add? Anything else to add? I might add a few Tudors as well. I think you've got Rolex covered, man. I'd add a two-tone bluesy because I think the two-tone is very, very, very cool. And I'd add a, I got to tell you, man, I would possibly add a, what else would I add there that's going to really give you a bounce? A few Breitlings, maybe. No, Breitling's not going to do it. Pam, not going to do it. Tudor, winner, winner, chicken jitter. Tudor Black Bay GMT. That is a collection. I'm Paul Pluta. Tell me what you guys think of that. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, new sponsor on the channel, APPSTANTIATE. Help get the most of your engineering and DevOps with APPSTANTIATE. APPSTANTIATE provides on-demand DevOps infrastructure, test automation, and continuous integration as a service with a focus on mentoring and hiring assistants to help engineering teams scale. They are experts in Google Cloud, Amazon Web Services, and the latest open source utilities to help your company save time and money. Cost reduction in your hosting bills alone will pay for itself. In addition, the team is 100% onshore, New York City-based senior engineers. APPSTANTIATE will help you get most productivity out of your current stack and/or employee headcount. Email hello@appstantiate.com. Please email now hello@appstantiate.com for more information. ArchieLuxury, proudly supporting fantastic businesses. And don't forget, guys, make sure you subscribe to the ArchieLuxury corporate live streaming channel to be updated on all the live shows I do. Live shows! Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW.